This is Justin AMZN on Monday, July 1st, 2019. Taking a look at how things played out today. Had a bearish candle on Friday, and so that would make today a bullish gap and go. And it really only ran up to around 1925. I don't even think the candles here left it. Yeah, the low here is 1925. Came right back underneath it. Retested, and then started to roll over here. Actually, rolled over, retested the 21, and then rolled down, making a new low in the day, a couple new lows in the day. Put in a really nice hammer, and this started to look like a double top, or I'm sorry, a double bottom here, and the 21 just acted as resistance. Pushed a little bit past it here, came right back down, and it wasn't until we popped above the 21 that we actually rallied into the close and ended up with a very small doji and still a bullish gap and go. We were clearing these two highs, which are the levels we were talking about on Friday, and just a little bit underneath 1925, and that acted as really good resistance today. We'll see what happens here next. Could get a bit of a double top here. We could get a little bit of a pullback into 5 and then rally, because this is a really strong gap. It's a really strong gap on daily, weekly, monthly. I really like the daily because we're actually getting above these highs. We've retested into them, and really there's very little, once we get above 1925, there's very little resistance up to 1972.50. I think that's a clear next target. We did, however, pause in this area back in May and didn't quite get up that high. So it'll be interesting to see if and when we can get back up to some of these, some of the, I guess, the 2000s, where we were putting in all-time highs. See if we can get closer to that during this month and continue higher, or if we're just going to kind of do this fake out continuation and actually pull back a little bit more into these areas, like we're talking about too. So it's a very nice small candle, indecisive increase in volume from the last few days. It looks really strong. We just have to see if it's actually going to play out that way. This value it's just working out really well. It when I first drew it in, it was way back here. The high on August 13th last year was a really nice hammer, inverted hammer. Made that the high, and it took us a couple weeks, week and a half, to get back up to that level. Still retested to it, and then launched up to all-time highs. We haven't been there since. So this is the first hurdle before we can do something like this and slingshot up. So if you picture that in there, if we do pull back some, give it a couple days into this price. So I'm trying to draw. This is what I'm describing. Let me draw it. All right. If we do something like this, wow, that did not draw right. Like this and like this. Like this and then like this. If we could do that, let me see if I can grab it. Over here, kind of works out nicely into this price and then gets us up close to all-time highs. That would probably push us into early August to get up here, and it was early August that we did it last time. So we're a little bit early, not quite a year since we've been up here, but we'll just have to wait and see how the market plays out. If we consolidate a bit up here, that's good too. Like I said, I was comparing it to this kind of consolidation after a massive run up. We've had a massive run up, just not quite as high as this one. Coming back into the 5-minute though, with the consolidation here, being a bullish gap and go, I really wanted to take this bullish, and it just didn't have the energy up here. It just couldn't push above this level. It did initially, but with these really large candles, it just couldn't be done with the $100 risking it. So you'd be way out of the money, and even on such a small day. Actually, what was the range of the day? Today was 15.16. Yeah. So look at how 1925 calls worked. They just lost value. Consolidating here between like 12 and 14 would have been still tough to be buying at a low in here, not knowing if that low was actually going to hold with the resistance right there. It's actually a little bit easier to see the bearish trade, just bumping our heads up against this and taking a bearish, when you touched it. And that would have been buying some puts right around 5 and just holding those till 7, and that would have been 2R. So doing 5 by 4 and just taking profits at 7. That would have worked right here and wouldn't have worked anywhere else. That's it. So it's like you had to have done it anywhere in the morning between 10 and like 11:30. I guess it didn't even, well, it got down to a low of 5. I don't know if that one would have filled. This one should have filled. The low is 485. So getting in 5 by 4 when it's holding this low as it's holding the high on the 5-minute. Sorry, let me zoom in on that. There you go. Okay. So this candle corresponds to the closest we could get here, and the last time we could have gotten filled, definitely gotten filled at 5. I mean, 99% chance of getting filled at 5. Then this rolled down, retested. Even in this retest, we got close to 5, but the low here was exactly 5, and that may have been a seller, not a buyer. So I don't know if buying the option at 5 would have worked there. From there, we dropped 6 bearish candles in a row, pushed a little lower with this one. This was a really nice hammer right here, and that was not much of a hammer on calls. So the nice part was that was within the 10 by 9 setup that I like to watch for, and it couldn't get going. It made a new high here, and then promptly came back in, made a hammer, lots of little hammers in here, and just nothing that really got us going. This was a bullish engulfing that just got sent right back down, and then like I said, it wasn't until we got above the 21 here and got a close above it and then continued above it. This bearish candle would have been a good retest, and that was right around 10. So probably could have done the 10 by 9, would have been close doing 10 by 9 right here as it's actually moving that direction. Had you done that, you might have been able to exit. Not sure if 12 would have filled either. So that would have been really tough to get 2R doing 10 by 9 with a stop or with a target at 12. Not sure if that would have filled because again, we didn't get back up to 1925. So that's the key level to look for. We'll see what we can do after hours. We're still below. We'll see if we can get any more gapping up or down and how things are going to play out. Yeah, it was just a day you got to look at smaller time frames to make something work. So let's see, maximize this. Come back in here. It's like the 3 minutes. Let's see if anything else would have worked in. Oh, the 3 minutes. Inverted hammer here. High wave candle. Seems like a little bit easier consolidation. We're making higher lows here and still holding the high here, and then you got this breakdown taking out that low, retesting to that breakdown point, and then starting to roll over. And so, and with the squeeze, that probably would have been the best opportunity, and that was the one we saw on the 5 minutes still too. So nice evening star right here to either you can do it these 3 candles, the small ones on your side, or you can kind of do it with these 3, where it's actually breaking down below that low and triggering you in as it's doing an evening star, and then just riding this for an hour, not quite 2 at that point because you're just not going to get there. Still a great hammer on a 3 minute. You just you're still losing bearish momentum, and so we didn't end up taking out that low, which was key. And so, like I said, Thursday's video, I think I was going to watch for some lows to be taken out and look for a reversal candle or like a hammer. And you definitely got it here. You got it here. Just not enough time went by from this one to this one A lot more time went by here because you actually took out this low with this hammer and then this one, and it's like, okay, well, let's wait for those to play out. You got this really nice hammer on higher volume, similar to this one, but this one didn't make any low. This one had higher volume, making a new low. So, and then this hammer was in a similar range. So this one, like I said, didn't take out the low on this hammer. So this one was key. It just, you had to wait. You had to wait for this this bearish pressure and all the selling to come in and not get sold down, and then just kind of get held down because we didn't sell off after this. We didn't make it get another low. We ended up rallying to the close. So that just shows me that there was not a lot of buyers, a lot of people taking profits. It was gapping up nicely. If you were someone who was riding up this move and you saw that the markets were gapping up and Amazon along with it, then you were probably taking some profits there. And so it wasn't until profit taking was done through here that we just went sideways here and then moved down. So really small candle on the daily, not a lot of opportunities on 3 minute or 5 minute. You would have just had to, be right there on the resistance, getting into puts, and on a short week, things are going to go by pretty fast. So we'll just keep an eye on how things are moving, see if we can trap any of the bears from today, and just do something to continue on up. This is still bullish. So the next thing to do is take out 1935.20 and then on to 1972.50. But we'll see. If we get an even smaller candle tomorrow, this thing's moving really, really big. Especially if it's a bearish one and then we gap up. I mean, we could soar. Now, if we get a bullish candle and then gap down, I'd be careful. I'd be careful with the bullish trade, but I would somewhat anticipate a pullback, at least to the 21, probably right into this price. Yeah, this is on 7.3, and the price is, this is the 1880.05. Nice X bar spot. So that's probably more likely to have some selling from here because there's so many people who bought in up here, and I don't think enough have taken profits yet up here. So we pull back, take out a low or something, more bears will jump on, and then see if we can grind before we start to rally. It just seems like we need a little more rest. I mean, we've gone nowhere. I mean, we were right here at this high on the 18th, so that was the middle of June. Here we are just 2 weeks later. We're still right in the same range. So it's a no man's land. We're just hanging out. I guess we're just kind of, like I said, waiting to see which direction this goes. Hope that helps. This is just AMZN. Thanks.